Fellow Dominicans, good evening. As of today, August 11, 2021, there are 311 active cases of COVID-19, which have all been confirmed by PCR test. The active cases include 159 males and 152 females. Those infected range from age 2 to age 88 years old. To date, there has been no death due to COVID-19. All symptomatic and asymptomatic cases are recovering satisfactorily and are clinically stable. All 311 active cases are in isolation at the COVID-19 care complex in Portsmouth. We have multiple facilities under our COVID-19 care complex in Portsmouth. This expansion was necessary not only to increase capacity in view of the present wave, but also to facilitate differentiation of the cases. These facilities are supported by a new structure for human resource, maintenance and equipment, meals, and other support services. In keeping with the new human resource structure for the COVID-19 care complex, Dr. Adrian Deschaussés has been placed on special assignment as the medical director. He will oversee a cadre of 7 doctors, which includes 3 specialists, namely Dr. Tora Brady, Dr. Rodriguez, and Dr. Gonzalez, as well as 4 other medical officers. Additionally, the doctors at the COVID-19 facility, along with the consultative group of specialists, are continuously engaged in the management of these cases on a daily basis. These consultants include Dr. Ferrara, obstetrician gynecologist, Dr. Lopez, internist, Dr. Wu, cardiologist, Dr. Andrew, cardiologist, Dr. James, nephrologist, and Dr. Williams, pediatrician. The new nursing structure, which has been approved by Cabinet, includes, among other things, a deputy principal nursing officer and 4 directors of nursing. This structure is headed by the Deputy Principal Nursing Officer, Nurse Magdalene Alexander, with support from 4 nursing directors, namely Nurse Rosamond Nicholas, Nurse Lavinia Matthew, Nurse Theona John Hope, and Nurse Kathleen Newton. Each of these nursing directors will oversee different facilities, which will be staffed with nurses, ward aides, and other support staff. This new structure is meant to augment the existing staff and will result in better management and care for all those who have been admitted to the COVID-19 care complex. I wish to commend all of the healthcare professionals who have readily come forward to provide this increased level of support in the management of COVID-19 and are all rallying together to continue to contain the spread of the virus and provide consistent care to patients in a safe environment. Testing will continue daily at communities around the island to ensure that every Dominican is able to ascertain his or her status. For example, yesterday we conducted testing at La Plaine, Saint-Sauveur, Grand Bay, Calibishi, Layou, Portsmouth, Maho, and Cochrane. Additionally, testing was conducted at the Woodbridge Bay Port, the Dominica State Prison, and at our main testing site, the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Today, August 11th, testing is being conducted at the following areas: Grand Fort, Castle Bruce, Pishley, Wesley, Dodan, Old Mill Cultural Center, Layou, Silver Lake, and Wharton Waven. Testing will continue daily at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. I encourage everyone to get tested, whether or not you are displaying symptoms, and also if you have been in contact with someone who tested positive. This is in your own interest and that of your family and country as well. I thank all those of you who have acted responsibly and came forward to get tested. The public participation so far has been commendable, and we look forward to the continued support. We are also soliciting the support of the private sector to encourage their staff to know their status and get tested. We have started within the public sector to insist that officers accessing various government buildings should be tested. Through this policy, we have already identified at least 3 cases from antigen testing. This will ensure that we can reduce the risk of spread in the workplace. A positive antigen test allows us to isolate infected individuals away from the community, thereby preventing further contact and spread of the virus, particularly to the elderly and most vulnerable. It also gives our healthcare professionals an earlier opportunity to begin interventions if needed and prevent severe illness. As per Emergency Order SRO 22 of 2021, a curfew remains in effect between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. daily until August 17, 2021. During the day, only essential services should be accessed. On Saturday, you will be able to access the supermarkets from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. A complete shutdown comes into effect from 3 p.m. on Saturday until 5 a.m. on Monday. I urge you to adhere to these public health regulations. If you do not need to be out in the public, stay home. And just as important, avoid gathering. Every single one of us can play a role to minimize the spread of the virus. This requires us all to always wear a mask in public. Be mindful that the wearing of masks is mandated by law and remains in effect. You should, however, be motivated by the responsibility to safeguard your health and that of those around you. This challenge provides an opportunity to exercise a spirit of public concern. Wash your hands regularly and thoroughly. Sanitize frequently touched surfaces. Maintain physical distance and avoid large indoor gatherings as well. Each of us can follow these public health and social practices to reduce our chances of getting infected and prevent the spread of COVID-19 to our co-workers, friends, and loved ones. We are urging those of you who have tested negative so far that the protocols still apply to you, and you must continue to strictly adhere to all of these health protocols so you don't get infected. A negative antigen test is not a vaccine, and you are still exposed to the threat of the virus. I must reiterate that vaccines remain one of our main defenses against the COVID-19 pandemic. The science is clear that vaccination can prevent severe illness and death. Our vaccination program will continue in every health district around the island, as well as the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. As I am addressing you, healthcare workers are out in the fields, working tirelessly, conducting contact tracing and testing to stop transmission of the virus. Let us keep these committed heroes in our prayers. The doctors, nurses, ward aides, chief pharmacists, and staff of central medical stores, lab superintendent and staff, maintenance department and staff, and all other support staff on duty at the COVID facility all need our support and positive energy. The first responders at fire stations across the island, the police officers stationed at various checkpoints, and security officers and staff at the various ports of entry need our cooperation. We remind all these officers that we are immensely grateful for their dedication, for their commitment, and for their acts of patriotism. They are committed to the task of safeguarding the health of the nation, and I call on all of us to join them in this effort. We would also like to thank Fine Foods, Starrin & Sons, Tranquility Beach Resort, Harris Paints, HHV Whitchurch, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, and Busy's Pure Honey from Collio. I know most of you who've been at home for days and for weeks, and in some cases for months. It is not an easy road. We definitely understand your plight. We know what quarantine fatigue can be like. But look beyond this. Look at it as your contribution in the fight against COVID-19. You're making a positive contribution by adhering to the protocols. Bear with us. Adhere to the protocols. Even if it's a little tough that you have to stay home, you have to stay indoors, you have to wear a mask, you haven't seen your loved ones, your friends, your family, you haven't been out in a while. But that's all part of the defense against COVID-19. We understand your plight, we understand your situation, just bear with us. Let's just stay indoors, let's avoid gathering. Together we can fight COVID-19. I thank you.